Should the police force be banning individuals from performing in public spaces claiming they are controversial? Can the police shirk away from their responsibility of protecting individuals who are facing threats? This is what a lot of people in India are discussing after the Bengaluru police barred Munawar Farooqi, a comedian, from performing in the city, claiming that he's controversial, and they quoted a case against him filed by the Indore police. Joining me today are two very special guests. Avni Chokshi, she is a part of the All India Lawyers Association for Justice. Also joining me is Falah Faisal. Falah is a comic book writer, a filmmaker, and is a creator of the comic Musalman. So keep watching the News Minute, and do not forget that for us to do such videos, to bring such discussions to you, we need your help, because all this requires time, money, and resources. So do become a member of the News Minute, become a part of our community. We have editorial meetings, we have events with guests. You can be a part of all that, but more than anything, do support our journalism. So to all those who are watching this, let me just give a quick brief of what happened. Munawar was supposed to perform in the Good Shepherd Auditorium in Bengaluru on Sunday, November 28th, but a few Hindu right-wing groups objected to it. The police sent a letter to the organizers of the program saying that Munawar is controversial, he is bound to make provocative statements, and therefore he cannot be allowed to perform. In that letter, the police, however, do not mention any kind of threats from the Hindu right-wing organizations. The police, in fact, behaved like this man is controversial, therefore he should not be allowed to speak. Now, what I want to tell the viewers also is that this is not the first time Munawar is performing in Bengaluru. In fact, the specific show called Dongri to Nowhere, he has performed thrice before in the same city, and that too in the Good Shepherd Auditorium. He's performed in December 2020, in July 2021, and in August 2021, once in the Good Shepherd Auditorium itself. So during those instances, the police never thought that it would pose a law and order problem. Why only now? Is it because there were threats from the right-wing groups? In that case, shouldn't the police have given Munawar protection instead of banning him? Or is Munawar's kind of humor or satire not acceptable to us? Because it is considered offensive by a section of society. So is it then better to ban these programs because there could be law and order problems? We are going to be discussing this and more. I'll come to you, Avni. What did you think first when you saw the Bengaluru police's letter to the organizers?
See, when I saw that letter, the first thing which occurred to me is that this appears to be an absolute abdication of their duties. Now, they have certain duties under the Constitution, under the Karnataka Police Act, and under the Karnataka Police Manual. And at the very outset, the Karnataka Police Manual makes it very clear that it's their role to protect and uphold the Constitution of India. Here we are discussing a situation of the fundamental right of Mr. Munawar Farooqi to speak. His freedom of speech and expression itself is at stake. So having this being the vital issue, then the police have absolutely abdicated its duties and either succumbed or been involved with the pressure to stop him from speaking. And I think part of our understanding of this has to be and cannot not be that he is a Muslim. This cancellation, this notice has been because he's a Muslim, and of course there's a lot of pressure from right-wing groups. And in fact, perhaps you saw the notice also says that certain organizations have been raising this, and there's a possibility of law and order issue. But this is absolutely impermissible from the police.
But Avni, if I can just be the devil's advocate. I spoke to a senior police officer yesterday and asked him, why didn't you provide protection? Instead, why did you go ahead and ban? He said, but he can make provocative statements. So can the police do something like that? Thinking that there could be provocative statements, that there could be a law and order problem in the future. Can the police just simply ban people? What does the law say?
See, they can't do that. That amounts to kind of making him an offender before he has done anything at all. In fact, that is what he faced the first time around. He had never made a joke, but on the basis of some apparent joke he was going to make, he was jailed for 37 days. He had to go all the way up to the Supreme Court to get bail. And in fact, saying something provocative is your fundamental right. If your fundamental right to speech and expression, if it extends only to statements which are palatable or acceptable to the majority, then that isn't a freedom of speech and expression. If I can only say what you want me to say, that's not my freedom. I have, in fact, the Supreme Court repeatedly says I have a right to offend, I have a right to shock, I have a right to disturb you, and that's part of my protected speech. So I think that has to be the context in which we view these statements and this kind of notice.
So Avni, because you said that making provocative statements is part of my freedom of expression. Thank you. That's something I very well appreciate. But my question is, there is a video which is doing the rounds, which shows Munawar cracking a joke on the Godhra train burning. And of course, there is another video in which he's cracking jokes on Hindu gods. And everyone who's forwarding these videos are like, this is a man who cracks jokes on a writing where people have lost their lives. So this is a man who cracks jokes on my God, not yours. So I don't want him to perform. What do you have to say to that?
I think there are a few aspects to this. The first thing we have to keep in mind is that he has made these statements, sure, but we are part of a democracy, and that democracy, it's an evolving democracy. We are trying to achieve a place where you should be able to make a joke at whatever religious figure it is. That religious figure should be strong enough to withstand that. You should not be so sensitive to satire or mockery of your figures, because this is a free space. You hold your beliefs, and those beliefs are your own, and those beliefs are not to be imposed on anyone else. The second part of this is that the Godhra incident it was a very horrific incident, the entire incident from start to end. There are, of course, this conspiracy theory, whether the train was a conspiracy or whether it was not. That, it's a disputed question of fact. Findings have been there on both sides. Ultimately, I think the fact which remains is that his statement in that video, it never demeaned those who had died. There was no element of putting down those who have died, or subverting the loss of which has been faced during the Godhra riots. The point which was trying to be made, according to me, in that video was that the Godhra has been used as a tool to polarize. Now he's making a point, perhaps in a controversial way, that making a controversial point is your right. And what Supreme Court says, actually, in a recent case in 2019, the Supreme Court says that satire is just one way of bringing in self-reflection. It's just one tool, just like irony is one tool. And you have various tools. Artwork is one tool to bring in self-reflection. These might not be something you agree with. You might not agree with the way he has said it, but he has the right to say that way. And this is something which the Bangalore police absolutely should not have been done.
So what Munawar says during his shows may be controversial, not palatable to a section, maybe even offensive to them. But the fact remains that Munawar has the right to say these things. And if the state found it problematic, they can even file a case after his show is done, right? But they should not have been barring him before he was able to perform. Is that what you're saying, Amini?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Fala, I'm going to come to you next. My question to you is, when you saw this controversy break out, what was your first reaction? Because you are also a performer, that to a Muslim performer. What was your first reaction when you saw this entire controversy?
So actually, this is not the first time it's been happening. It's been a series of events where they've tried to harass Munawar. So I think in Goa also, a few weeks ago, when he was supposed to perform, they threatened, 500 people threatened to immolate themselves if he was to perform, and they had to cancel his show, right? There's been 6 or 7 shows of his that have been cancelled in the last couple of months. So it's been a series of events, but it hurts a lot more being somebody from Bangalore who thought that our city is not that backward, that this kind of thing cannot happen in our backyard, and we thought of Bangalore as a progressive city. So it's not, the fact that Munawar is being stopped from performing is not surprising, but the fact that it's happening in Bangalore is what, for me, is a lot more hurtful.
Well, I would say that even the comedy that you do is provocative, most times irreverent. But is there a line that you draw? And have you felt that in the last few years, you have to be more careful about what you draw, your kind of comedy? Have you felt that there is more pressure and spotlight?
I think I have a very opposite perspective. In fact, like I think the more the pressure, the more it pushes me to do more, as opposed to take a step back. I think the more the pressure is applied to not do something, that prompts me to put out like stronger content. In fact, like uh, before this regime was this way, I was actually not making Musalman comics, right? It only is like how the situation has grown in the last couple of years has prompted me to create art that is relevant to the times. So I think, like Avni mentioned, I think when it comes to comedy and art, intent and target really matters. Like, who are you joking about, and what is the intent that you're putting into that joke? So, like in comedy, I mean, this has been spoken over and over. There's a perspective of punching up and punching down. If there's somebody who's being oppressed, and then you aim your joke at the oppressed, that is actually like looked down upon. That's bad comedy. But if somebody is in a position of power, who's the oppressor, and if you make fun of them, that is what is the desirable way of performing comedy, right? So I've actually like I'm personally like believe in pushing the boundaries as far as they can go. Like, you know, like if you look at my work, I'd rather be the person who pushes the boundary further so that it allows other people to do more comedy in this field than take a step back and like let restrictions be imposed.
Avni, my next question is to you. So, do you think what the Bangalore police has done now sort of sets a bad precedent, especially if it goes unchallenged?
I absolutely do on two levels. One, of course, in respect of this particular incident, it's something which requires to be challenged, and it might set a precedent in terms of what the police finds itself permitted to do. But on another level, I think such notices and such cancellations of shows on ground that the speech might be provocative, that has what we call a chilling effect on the freedom of speech and expression, which means that people are more reluctant to say what they think because of fear of repercussions, of fear to exercise their legitimate and legal entitlements. Now, this is something which is really problematic, and it's something we are seeing more and more, but only very hypocritically for the Muslim community. I think either today or yesterday in Hassan, someone said if Muslims behave in such a way, then we will ensure that Godhra takes place again over here. And he says that with absolute impunity in public, and no repercussions are taken against him. So at one hand, you have the rise of hate speech from the Hindutva majority, and at the second hand, you have anyone who makes something even remotely unpalatable to the Hindu masses being targeted if they're Muslim. So I think these go hand in hand, and we absolutely must take this forward, legally and otherwise.
So one other aspect that I want to discuss with both of you, I'll start with you, Avni, is the loss of livelihood which is associated with this, right? It's not just about Munawar. We have seen how a large group like ID was targeted there, Idli Dosa batter. We have seen how the anti-cow slaughter laws actually impact Muslim traders the most. And in so many ways, it's also about loss of livelihood, which is something which Munawar touched upon in his statement later. How do you see that?
It's really part of a larger pattern. If you remember during COVID, when the COVID first broke out, there were lots of allegations that Muslim street vendors are going to be spitting on your fruit. Don't purchase fruit from Muslim street vendors. Don't take action against, as in don't engage with Muslim vendors at all. And all of this is part of a larger system where you want to economically alienate a class of people. And through that, you're creating a system where they are out of your systems. They are no longer permitted to engage in your systems. They're no longer permitted to participate, and they're no longer able to claim their rights. That will become the next step. Ultimately, if you see the pattern in India today, what appears to be the norm is you have a massive targeting of the Muslim minority, and you have a massive targeting of the Christian minority, and you have a lack of support from the silent masses. These two together have resulted in the economic marginalization of the Muslim community, in my opinion.
Fala, what is your opinion when a Munawar is made to cancel around 12 shows. That's what I read, that including the
Yeah.
Bangalore one, it'll be his 13th show that's getting cancelled. It is also a loss of livelihood for him, right?
Yeah. And I think it's, I mean, I can speak about it from personal experience at least, right? In my last couple of jobs that I've had statements made to me by colleagues like saying, look around, you're the only Muslim in the office. You've been hired despite being Muslim. And another like employer who's telling me like, I hire Muslims because nobody else will. Not be so he's hiring me not because of my merit, but because of who I am or what my name is. So like I've had comments like this past, and the fact that like things like this are mentioned itself is like obscene to me, because I think even Munawar gave like an interview where he said like, don't think of me as a Muslim comedian, think of me as a comedian. The fact that you think of me as a Muslim comedian itself is where that tag like dissuades away from anything like he's doing. In fact, even when I used to stand up a couple of years ago, a host would invite me on by, this is a Muslim comedian. And I'm like, we don't invite other comedians by saying that this is a Hindu comedian or this is a Christian comedian. So why does this only happen to like a certain subsection of comedians? And is my Muslimness the only thing I'm allowed to make fun of then? Ki like, do I have to only come up and make jokes about, oh, look at me, I'm a Muslim? Because that just like limits the scope of the person's performance, in fact, like by labeling them as such. Like, and when it comes to livelihood, it's a concerted like effort to like dissuade people from taking up thing. No? During the 1940s and 50s, there was this comedian called Lenny Bruce who in the US, who was basically hounded in a very similar manner where like, you know, cops used to be present at his show, and anytime he would say anything offensive, they would come on stage and arrest him. He's probably the comedian who's been arrested the most number of times, and got to a point where he could no longer perform and end up like dying of an overdose later on. But like Munawar's case is very reminiscent of what Lenny Bruce's tribulations were 40-50 years ago. And I feel this is almost like identical, to the point where I feel like this is a stage stand-up and art needs to pass through. Because Lenny Bruce went through what he did, freedom of speech in America and comedy has grown and become better, and that is allowed 20, 30 years down the line for your George Carlins to come up and your Bill Hicks to come up and your D.F. Chappelle's to come up. So as awful as I feel that Munawar's having to face this, I feel like this is a necessary phase that for the comedy to pass through this stage, so that 20, 30 years down the line, we might have better freedom of speech.
Fala, when you spoke earlier, you said that personally, you actually ended up doing a lot of the stuff that you're doing now because of what is happening in India, right? But is that just your case? In many other people's cases, do you think when they get targeted, or the fear of getting targeted makes them self-censor?
I guess I think what protects me is a layer of privilege, that I come from a place where I might not be like directly physically affected by violence based on because of what I do. And like I've landed up in situations that have been problematic, but sometimes my privileges help me get out of those situations. So yeah, for somebody who's like economically like well off enough, I can take that chance, but I don't know if most people can take that.
Okay, I'm going to end by asking both of you a question each. Avni, to you, what I want to ask is that even when the whole thing happened, right, when Munawar was stopped from performing in Mangaluru, I see a lot of people who don't have very stark political takes. They're still saying that, look, if there was to be a law and order problem, it's okay if the police went ahead and stopped it. There is a second. What would you say to those people and to civil society at large? Like, how should we all be reacting to things like this? Because it's all just the beginning, right, to bigger problems for each of us.
I think the answer itself flows from your question, that this is the start of larger problems. Once you permit the arbitrary curtailment of someone else's fundamental rights and find no problem in it, then you don't know what that's leading to for yourself. Now, of course, that's maybe a bit of a selfish way to look at it, but ultimately, permitting police excesses of the state on any level and to any audience creates a situation where the country itself or the constitution itself is in threat. And the repercussions of that won't be on that section alone. The repercussions of that will be on the whole community. So I think Yeah.
But we have high court orders here which clearly says that people cannot be stopped from doing an act simply because you fear there will be a law and order problem, right? Another lawyer I was speaking to said that if the police really wanted to ban Munawar from doing something like this, they had to actually impress upon a court or something that there is clear danger of him performing, which they have not done in this case, right, Avni?
They haven't done that. In fact, if you see the notice itself, it's quite peculiarly worded. They don't even give an order to the organizers to prohibit it. They say, we suggest that you cancel the show, to kind of prevent themselves from having the responsibility and liability for the cancellation. They are at the root, they are themselves canceling the show, but they're not saying so overtly. And I think they appear to be trying to escape from the liability of canceling the show while effectively perpetuating the same.
So they have clearly taken a step back from what their duty is, which is to protect Munawar or anyone who had given that threat to him, right? So Fala, I'm going to end with asking, what are your...
Also, before we move to the next point, what I'd like to add is when somebody's performing at a show at that level, they do get a censorship certificate where they've submit whatever they're performing to the censor board who okays it. And with Munawar's case, he has the censor certificate for his show that proves that he has no offensive material. Like had he had offensive material, that certificate would not have been issued to him. So it's very clear that it does not matter what the content of the show is at all, because like he has a certificate to prove that it is not.
So Munawar had a certificate of censorship from the Stage Performance Scrutiny Board of the government of Maharashtra. And that certificate is valid till November 22nd of 2022, if I'm not mistaken. It is November 2022. Mm-hmm. The certificate merely says that he cannot use certain words. So therefore, yes, Avni, you want to add any other point?
In fact, on this point which Fala is making about the censor certificate, what the Supreme Court says is that once you have that censor certificate, then the police cannot be acting as the self-appointed guardians of morality. They are not there to impose their morality on what he says or what he doesn't say. Once he's got the censor certificate, that is it, and that's sufficient. So that's a very important point made by Fala.
Fala, any closing comments that you have? I mean, you said that you have your own privileges, which is perhaps why you believe that you have not been targeted that much. But if this sets a bad precedent, then how do you see things going ahead?
I mean, the kind of person I am, I always it just pushes me to create more. Like I'd rather, like I'd create a comic that deals with this issue in a deeper manner and stuff, because I really hate that where this really comes from is when we get divided into an us versus them binary, right? That's what happened when you label somebody as a Muslim comedian or a Muslim artist or whatever, right? So when this binary gets created and when they're not looked upon based on their profession, but by the religion, a religion that they might not even follow, it's just that their parents happen to be from that religion. They were born into a certain family that gives them a certain name. It doesn't matter whether you're an atheist who just happens to have a Muslim name, where you're just being targeted simply because your name is so and so, right? Things don't look good because, like, usually this is not just a isolated incident. This has been like where, like, you know, your OTT platforms have been targeted in the past years, where they are now forced to like censor their content after that controversy that happened with the show called Tandav. And a lot of these things, it's just a piling up of events, and like, so, and now we are in that almost Minority Report, George Orwellian, like, you know, prevent a crime before it happens sort of a scenario where almost anything or anybody, they just need to decide this is a person we're going to target and this is a person we're going to go after. And then the decision is not even in the person's hands whether he wants to perform or not, right? So I think this is like a slippery slope, and until like somebody makes a concerted stand and an effort, things are only going to go worse from here, I guess.
So it is a slippery slope. Thank you, Avni and Fala, for joining. A lot of points were discussed today, but primarily what both our guests agreed to is that it is the duty of the police to protect the fundamental rights of a citizen, which includes freedom of expression. And Munawar's rights were not protected. Instead, the police gave some flimsy reasons to bar him. There's also the question of loss of livelihood and the fact that he was being targeted because of his identity as a Muslim. Fala says that he is a creator whose art may be offensive to some, may be irreverent to others, but the current conditions in the country sort of pushes him to make that sort of art. But people like Falah are a few now. There are many who continue to self-censor because of the threats around them. Thank you very much, both of you.
Thank you.